So I haven't done a vlog video style in a while, and I thought it'd be fitting to do all of this. So today, well this afternoon, I'm going to be changing the brake rotors and the brake pads of the Z. So as you can see here, I went for the T3 slotted rotors and paired up with the Street Performance DBA brake pads as well. So just for everyday daily driving. I actually got my brake pads changed not too long ago, maybe about 2 years ago now, and had the brake fluid done as well. But they said then that when I got the rotors machine, that's probably the last time that they could really just skim the disc. And it's definitely showing, like over the years, I guess. You can see the scorch marks towards the bottom there. And obviously under heavy braking, you've got a lot of vibrations. Look, the braking power is still good, but it's just quite uncomfortable under heavy braking, of course. So, but yes, I'm going to be doing that. I just got that recently as well. So neochrome valve caps to match my lug nuts, which is super cool. But yeah, I've never changed the rotors and front pads before. I've got some .4 or super .4 super brake fluid just to top it up. I'm not going to do a flush or anything. We'll just see how it goes. But yeah, so that's what we're doing this afternoon. The wheels off. It actually took longer than I expected because the deep socket I had kept getting stuck with these, so they were really annoying to get off. But this is what we're working with. I've turned the wheel obviously this way so I can access this area, but essentially you've got these two pins here and here that they need to slide out. Once you get these cotter pin things off, just pull them out with the pliers. And this pressure plate actually is actually pressurized by these two bolts, so they're kind of pushing it down. And behind there is where your brake pads are. So that should be pretty easy, but I'm actually going to take my time cleaning these as well. Obviously there's a lot of brake dust here, a lot of gunk. And obviously to take the rotors off, I have to take the caliper off, the actual rotor itself. So these are held by these 22mm bolts, one here and one here as well, there. So they should be fun to get off. I might actually take this 10mm here as well, which is holding the brake line, just to move it out of the way. But yeah, it's going to take a while because yeah, I want to clean it properly on both sides as well, so we'll see how we go. Alright, so here are the cotter pins that I was talking about. So sometimes they can be facing the other way. So this bolt here, this long bolt, is actually what we need to take out. It's a Phillips head, so you can actually just twist it to get it where you want it to be, as you can see there. And just take your needle nose pliers and then pull it out. So I've got one of the bolts out already. Just for the last one, obviously it is pressurized, so if you don't like hold it whilst you're taking the bolt out, it might fling at you. So just be mindful of that. So I took out the backing plate, or the shim, whatever you want to call it. I'm actually going to clean it properly, just because obviously a lot of dust, and even here, see? And obviously we want to reduce the possibilities of getting squeaks and all of that. So yeah, this is going to take a while. So just a comparison with my previous one. They've actually still got a bit of life left on them. Like I said, they weren't changed that long ago. But yeah, that's what they look like. Dirty. Okay, so working through, I've taken out the brake pads, and now I'm taking out the big boy calipers. So I got that bolt out. This one was a little bit, not sure if you can see, there you go, annoying to do, just because this brake line actually comes in here, and it's one of those like steel ones. You can't get your socket around that, and they don't really say it in the guide. So what I had to do is take the bracket that's holding it off, kind of push it down, so it gives me room to fit a socket in here. So yeah, that's what we're at. Didn't take too long. Okay, so I took the caliper off and I just have it hanging with 2 zip ties, and then it's hanging there comfortably. So I'm going to take the rotor off now. Fun fact, there's this little bolt, little hole here. Common misconception is that sometimes there is a little stud that sticks out there, and people think it's to so you don't get the wheels mixed up from the front to the rear, and it acts as like a guiding hole. Yes and no, but what it's actually used for as well is that you can actually take a 10mm bolt, which I just got from up here, and if I actually screw that on here, and anyways, if I screw that on, it'll actually push this rotor out, so I don't have to hammer it in or anything like that. So let's give that a go. Yeah, so that's a bit better. So much better than my headlamp that I'm using. So just gonna put that on, and you might find that it's gonna take a while. I should get one. Oh, there it goes. See? Straight away. I didn't even have to do much. I didn't have to do it all the way through. But I've just tightened that bolt in. That's my hub-centric ring for my wheels. And yeah, straight away. I didn't have to hammer it or anything. It just loosened up. So that's actually really cool that I got that on camera. So hopefully that helps if you've got a 370Z and you end up taking your rotors off. Yeah, so that's really heavy. So I'm going to take the camera off and go from there. And yeah, I'm gonna give this area a bit of a clean. Obviously it's a bit munted. Okay, look at this bad boy. That's the old one, looks a bit ratty. And then we've got the DBA T3 slotted. So I actually got the same one for my Subi Liberty, and they worked wonders. So obviously much bigger in comparison to the Subi. We'll chuck that on soon. We just got to clean it with brake cleaner because it has like that coating to prevent it from rusting from factory. So we'll do that and then we'll chuck it on. Okay, so all cleaned. Now I guess you were wondering, well, you've got these markings here on the sides. They're actually heat indicators, so they change colors when they reach a certain temperature. So I think one of them changes to white and the other to yellow, or one or the other. So it just informs you to see how they're traveling. Of course, these are very track oriented spec rotors. So, but obviously mine's a daily, and I'm not really tracking it or anything. But it's always nice to have the stopping power available on those spirited runs and so forth. But yeah, they're really nice. They look really good. So yeah, we'll chuck them on now. Okay, so TVA provides the high temp lubricant. You're meant to put it where it has metal on metal contact, so like the sound indicators, and then where the piston sits as well, which if you can see. But I put the other one on already, and so far it's looking good. You can rotate it. Yeah, so nearly there. So we'll keep going. So I thought I'd do a bit of an update. I'm onto the other side now. And I'm really taking my time with it, you know, making sure I've cleaned everything and so forth. But the other side's done, and it's looking really good. So, not sure if you can see, you can't see it, but I do have the brake pads on there already, and everything, yeah, is reversed pretty easily. Just put the bolts back. I haven't torqued the big 22mm bolts in the back. I forgot the torque spec for it. But yeah. Okay, so I've got the rotor on and I'm holding it with the 3 lug nuts. I'm actually getting really quick with this. So now I'm up to cleaning up the rotor. Sorry, the caliper. Probably should have cleaned it before I put the rotor on, but that's alright. Also cleaned the hub-centric ring that sits in the middle. So yeah, starting to fly through it. Alright, so I've just put the calipers back on, the 22mm bolts here and here at the bottom. Haven't torqued it up as I said before. I just want to show this situation just because this thing, this bracket actually sits over like this. and it has a bit of I guess pull to it, restriction from the other side, but that's what you need to, I guess, unbolt here and this thing here, so you can bend it out of the way to get access to that 22mm bolt. So you just gotta kind of from here press it down and line up the holes, and then obviously do it, do them up. I need both hands for that, of course. So yeah, that's what we're kind of at the moment. Then next I'll put give it more of a clean and then put the pads in. But yeah, she's looking good. Okay, so I thought I'd show the last bit. So I put the pads in, greased them up. I'm gonna put the shim back on, and I've cleaned it up. So essentially, as you can see here, this thing kind of presses down, right? And you've got this bolt that goes through like this. It goes through there, goes through the middle bit, goes through there, and it goes onto the other side. And you've got the holes here for the brake pads, and they obviously this bolt goes through it, and essentially that's how it holds it down. And then afterwards you're gonna put in the cotter pins through this hole once it's in. But that's pretty much it. Okay, so I put everything back together, and this is what it looks like. Should also grease the rod or the bolt thing that goes through, and this one went through much smoothly. Yeah, so now we're gonna look for the hole for the cotter pins, and the easiest way to do that is that they're pretty much a Phillips head, and you just gotta turn it like that again. And the DBA pad set actually give you a free set of I guess new cotter pins to go in there, which I'll find in a moment. Yeah, so that's this side done as well, and you can see the cotter pins there in the corner. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously I'm gonna clean the rotors again, go over it on both sides, do it properly, and then tomorrow I'll put it on, I'll put the wheels back on. And so, oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is that when you're decompressing or compressing the calipers, you gotta open this up just in case fluid does leak out when you push the pistons back in. But luckily everything was quite dry by the looks of things. So yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, so I've just torqued up the bottom bolt, and now I'm like, are you serious? I can't get my torque wrench there, so I have to undo these things again. Bruh. I'm gonna do the other side as well, but I think that's it for tonight. Till tomorrow. I gotta torque them up. Took like a second. Takes like 2 minutes to put it on. But the torque spec for them are 95 foot-pounds or 120 Newton meters. Now my torque wrench doesn't actually go that far up. It gets pretty close. I think it sits at like 110 or 115. But yeah, they should be at 120 Newton meters. Or just use a duck, which I have, thanks to Ben, somewhere there. But yeah.